Hey, I'm back. I just had something to say about relationships. Okay. You cannot fix anybody else. You can only fix yourself. So if you're going to get in a relationship, don't ever get in a relationship thinking that you can fix somebody else. Because it ain't going to happen. I was young, getting in my relationship. I was still growing. And I didn't know how relationships were. But I do know that they're give and take, and they're after your butterfly stage and your lust stage, initiation stage, you're supposed to grow a bond. And if that bond is strong enough, then you have that freaking connection. You come back to each other and you can sit down and you can talk about things and work it out without beating each other down to the ground and tearing each other apart. How does that help find a solution to anything? If you have two people that can't sit down at a table to talk and get along and find some common ground to find a solution to a problem when it comes to disciplining a child, how's that going to do anything for that child? What does that show that child? You got two parents that has the problem. So, you take the kid out of the situation, put it over here for a minute, because you gotta fix the damn parents. The parents are the problem. It don't take a genius to figure that out. If the parents are tearing each other down, and they can't talk to each other like decent freaking human beings, then they're the problem. It's not the kid that's the problem. We're the freaking adults. We're the adults. We have to set an example for the child. And if we don't know how to communicate effectively to each other and find a solution, then we're showing the child that it's okay when they get in a relationship to tear their spouse down in order to find some disciplinary action for their kid. That's what we're showing them. Pretty much plain and simple. So, to being what you call a good parent or a bad parent or what the F ever word that you want to throw out there, some label, you have to sit down and talk calmly and treat each other like human beings, like you actually love each other. Because if you don't have a connection and you're not working on your relationship and you don't have that bond and you ain't semi on the same wavelength and respect each other's opinions and ideas, then you're not going to discipline that child effectively. You're going to fuck that child up. So, in the long run, it becomes the parent's fault, and the parent has to take responsibility. Because they have to make the change. Because they're the adult. Thus, how it becomes environmental. And a cycle. So it's up to us to break the cycle of abuse and of the same damn thing over and over and over again. This is why I'm so much into relationships, and I want to help people, because I've been raised in a relationship with my parents fighting, and now my own kid is in a relationship with me fighting with my spouse. And it becomes a freaking cycle. And it's hard for us to take responsibility for our own life. But when you take responsibility for your own life and what you've done and where you're at, that's empowering enough for you to look at yourself in the mirror and to change. You have to be honest with yourself. And it's not being a victim. You're telling yourself the truth. You're being truthful with yourself. At some point in life, everybody is victimized. And everybody's a hero. But you have to be truthful. If you're not truthful with anybody, be truthful with yourself. Because that's a person that you gotta face at the end of the day. And that's a person that when you leave this world, that's who's gonna be there. You're in your body. Relationships are hard, but if you have that so-called bond, then your relationship is going to go smoothly, and your children are going to have a well-rounded sense of self-esteem and self-worth. And they're going to be able to go out there in the world, they're going to be able to get a good job, they're going to be able to do all those different things because they got self-esteem, a good sense of self. And all those different things, emotional stability. But if the parents are not stable and they're not getting along and they don't have that bond, it's going to be hard for that child, because you have to be that example. Your child looks up to you. You have to make sure that you go through with promises. You have to make sure that you spend time with your child. You have to make sure that you do all those things. I have been the main person here for my kid since she was born. I mean, emotionally, and spending time with her. But that's not good enough when there's a whole bunch of arguing going on. One thing cancels the other thing out. I mean, me and her will always have an emotional bond, and she's always going to respect me and all those things. But her self-esteem and different things from my own relationship and arguing, that's not good on her. I've been there. I know. Look at me. I've come from parents that argued, and I have social anxiety. I have different people going on. I have all kinds of different crap going on. But you can get better. Being truthful with yourself and taking responsibility for your life. Whatever that makes you get on that road to success, if it's medication, If it's not medication, if it's exercise, if it's art, if it's drawing, if journaling, music, whatever. Whatever works for you. Everybody's different. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. This is just my personal opinion from what I've been through. I've been able to work on all relationships in my life, and even kept up with certain relationships that I've not been with that person anymore and still been friends, except for one relationship in my life. I don't get it. But it's not for me to get. And that's when I let go, let God, because I can't fix everything. I can't be that fixer person inside of me anymore. I just have to let go and try to live my life. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but this is just some more of my feelings about relationships and things, and it makes me feel better to get it out. So anyway, gotta get. Thanks for taking your time to listen, and see ya. Bye-bye.